Berkeley. Alli, let's talk about the Real Food Challenge. What is that and how did you get involved?
The Real Food Challenge is a national network of students who are working on food issues. And one of the wonderful things about food is that it touches on so many different aspects of culture and society and politics and in the environment. I got involved. I worked with an organization called United Students for Fair Trade, which has historically sort of affiliated itself with social justice movements, with worker rights movements, but in 2008 sort of got introduced to the idea that it could be a part of this burgeoning sustainable food movement, since most of the fair trade products are agricultural products. So I got introduced to the Real Food Challenge in early 2008. It was still in its design phase at that point. It didn't launch until the fall of that year. But the idea behind the Real Food Challenge is that there are students on campuses all over the country working on all these incredible things that are related to food, working on animal rights, putting in organic gardens in their school, doing fair trade, farm worker rights, and that their passion and their drive and their success might be lost because it was so unique to each campus. So we, at the Real Food Challenge, found a way to quantify their successes by putting together a real food calculator, which can be used to audit schools and see how much of their food is what we're calling real, which is ecologically sound, community-based, fair, humane, and healthy. And so by giving schools this common goal to sign on to and this national network and this campaign, we can really leverage their success and bring the student power together in a way that can really change the systems.
And so far, did you mention the 20%? You want the UC system to have 20% real, as you define, real food by 2020?
Yeah, that's one of the major successes of the Real Food Challenge. The overall goal is to get 20% real food in all institutions of higher learning by 2020, which means redirecting about $1 billion towards the food that we want to see. Last year, the University of California system signed on as a whole. The UC Regents adopted a sustainable foods policy based on the Real Food Challenge guidelines. So all the UCs are going to have 20%, at least 20% real food by 2020.
And you're going to be watching them to make sure they're actually doing that?
Yes, we are.
How are you going to be watching them?
I mean, as a student group, we don't have any real enforcement mechanisms other than the fact that the UC system is an early adopter of this. They're very proud of having been on the forefront historically of a lot of sustainability initiatives, and they have promoted themselves as leading this sort of food movement in a lot of ways. And it's going to be very embarrassing for them because we will publicize it heavily if they don't actually succeed with that. Part of this, the Sustainable Food Initiative that they've signed on to involves every school has to put together a sustainable food systems working group that has to include administration, students, and faculty. I'm on the Sustainable Food Systems Working Group at UC Berkeley, which meets once a month, once every couple of months, and does yearly audits, talks about it, makes sure that they're actually putting their money where their mouth is.